Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you an eyeshadow tutorial on this look right here, created using the Viseart Dark Edit palette. So today I am using the Viseart Dark Edit palette. This is a recent addition to my collection. I've had my eye on it for a minute, and when Muse Beauty Pro had a sale, I went on ahead and I grabbed it and the Paris Edit palette. Now the Paris Edit palette I used a couple of videos ago, so if you're interested in seeing the look that I created with this palette, then I will link that video here. And the Paris Edit palette was the first palette that I tried, the shimmer formula from Viseart. Now this is what it looks like. I'm no stranger to Viseart's matte formula. I love their matte eyeshadows. I love them, but this was my first time experiencing the shimmer formula, and I really enjoyed using this palette, so I was definitely looking forward to playing in the Dark Edit palette. This is the box. The names of the shadows come on the box, not on the actual palette, and it's a 12 pan mini palette. It comes with a little mirror. And this is the color story, which I think is absolutely beautiful. It's got a little grunge to it. It's dark. It's definitely fall inspired, fall appropriate. There are 12 shadows, 8 of which are matte and 4 are metallic shimmer. And they're the 4 on the bottom. And let me tell you, I have fallen in love with the Viseart shimmer formula. I have to say, this burnished copper, that beautiful copper shade right there, that's what I put on my lid. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. The mattes, for the most part, the mattes feel soft and smooth in the pan, but some mattes do feel drier than others. This purple one, for example, feels a bit drier than the other mattes in this palette, but they all swatch very smoothly. And the shimmers, oh my gosh, they swatch so silkily. Is that a word? Silky. They swatch so silky and smooth, and they apply to the lid like silk. They really remind me of the Pat McGrath shimmer formula. Her formula is subtle, more subtle, not really foiled in your face, but feels like silk when you apply it to the lid. And the Viseart shimmers that I have used thus far in both of these palettes is the same way. Subtle, not foiled, but I mean, you couldn't tell from this shadow that I have. It doesn't look really foiled in the pan, but once I applied it on my lid, oh my Lord. Oh, so beautiful. I really was not expecting, I must say, this shadow right here, this bright lavender. That lavender shade right here, which looks so pretty and bright in the palette. Not super bright, but definitely brighter than all of the other matte shadows in here. I was really surprised at how dark it got. This is what I used in the crease and the lower lash line. So very, very dark, very mysterious. Really, really surprised at how much I love this look. It's dark, it's mysterious, it's sexy, it's sophisticated, it's grown, like I know I don't mean to go on and on about my eyeshadow look today, but I am really loving it. I honestly wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with this palette, but there's this really dark shade right here is actually blue, but it's so dark it looks like it's a blue black, but it's blue. And that's what I put on the inner corner. Just all of the shadows just work well together and created a nice cohesive look. Even though I wasn't too sure it was going to, it did. And I'm really happy. Really happy with the look, really happy with this palette, with the performance of the shimmer and the matte shadows. Love this color story. Perfect for fall. If you're looking for a beautiful fall palette, this is it. This is it right here. All of the shadows are magnetized in the pan, so you can pop them out, rearrange them, pop others from other edit palettes in them. Really nice. I have nothing bad to say about this palette, and I cannot wait to use it again. So if you've been thinking about, if you've been on the fence about trying these Viseart palettes, I think whatever one you choose, whether it be the edit palettes, whether it's the Petite Pros, whether it's the full-size 12 pan palettes, they're all coming with the same wonderful, easy to use formula. And I know that because I have a couple of each. I have a Pro, Petite Pro, so all the ones I've mentioned, I have some here. I've used them all, and they're all really of great quality. If you're a beginner with eyeshadows, I think Viseart is a great place. I know they're very expensive, but I think they are beginner friendly, and they're just easy to use. They blend themselves. They don't turn muddy when you layer them. They're just beautiful. And you know, I really have always been drawn to the really foiled, in your face, can be seen from space metallic formulas, but I have really, I think this has converted me. I've really definitely grown much more of an appreciation for more subtle shimmers, although there's really nothing subtle about this shimmer on my lid. But you know, I don't always want a really blinged out metallic foiled shadow on my lid. And as I get more mature and I get more wrinkles and more folds, that type of metallic shadow can amplify texture on your lids. So I don't always reach for them. I really love them, but sometimes I don't want all of that. And I think this is beautiful. I think you get beautiful impact, but if you want to go a little more subtle, you can. I think just, okay, I'm really waxed on about this palette. I'm sorry, but I am loving it. Let me know if you have this palette, what you think of it, if you're thinking about, or if it's a palette on your wish list. Let me know that too. Also, let me know if you'd like to see me do any more looks with this palette. I definitely plan to play some more in it, so let me know if you'd like to see that. And now, if you would like to see how I created this very smoky, dark, fall-inspired look today using the Viseart Dark Edit Palette, then keep on watching. Starting off today's look with the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the anti-aging formula. And I did have some staining with this palette, so I would suggest if you use this palette that you use a base underneath to mitigate some of that staining. Now I'm going in with lavender, and I'm taking a smaller brush. This is the Sonia G Mini Booster, because I wanted to concentrate this shade right in the crease. And I was very surprised at how dark the shade was as compared to what it looked like in the pan. And then as I continued to build it up, it seemed like it got deeper and deeper. Really pretty shade, but I just was not expecting it to be this dark. I expected this to be my my burst of color, my pop of color in this look, and that's just not how it turned out. And that primer really grabbed onto the eyeshadow, so plus the fact that I'm using a smaller brush, you can see just how concentrated the color is in the crease there. So this did take some time to blend out. I actually changed my brush here to a bigger, fluffier brush, and this is the Sonia G Classic Crease brush. So it's a bigger, fluffier brush, and I used that to help in the aiding of this blending because I had a lot of blending to do. Going back into the palette, I'm taking the shade Persimmon, and I'm going to place that high above the crease just to blend out the edge of that purple. And I'm not going to take it all the way across. I just wanted this pop of orangey red color, which is really bright, really bold, really nice. I just wanted that to sort of peek out on the edges, the outer edges of that purple. So I'm just concentrating it on the edge and about 3/4 of the way across the top of the crease, blending out the edge of that purple. And I think these colors went really nicely together, and just making sure I blend them seamlessly together, which was easy to do, even though both of these shadows are very pigmented, as you can see. And then I just went back in with a little bit more of that lavender just to make sure I didn't lose any of that intensity once I blended it out with Persimmon. And then back in with Persimmon just to make sure that that didn't get erased or lightened any bit when I went back in with the purple. And I really like this color, really bright, vibrant, really rich. Now I'm taking the shade Forêt. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Please, French people, please excuse my French, my poor French. But this is that really deep blue shade that actually from here you can see it is more blue. It is not black, but every time I swatch it, it just seems so dark that I'm not sure if it's black or not, but it is blue. And I'm just placing that on the outer V area, trying not to go into the crease, trying to keep it below the crease. And I didn't really need to add any more. I just did, but I didn't need to because that shadow is very pigmented. And now this is the star of the show. This is Burnished Copper. And I'm just placing that on the lid. I am using this shadow dry. And it's this really beautiful, it almost matches that Persimmon, that orangey red shade right there at the top of the crease. Almost matches that because it's really coppery, but it's got some red in it. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And here I am using it to simulate really a cut crease is what it looks like. I wasn't trying to simulate a cut crease, but that's how it looks because it's making that lid space and where I'm placing this shade so defined up against the crease. And I think this color looks really, really pretty up against that purple. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I have no fallout, as you can see, from any of these eyeshadows. And for it to look so foiled on the lid, but be so smooth and just so, so beautiful with no fallout. Really, really nice formula that Viseart has here with their shimmer shades. And now I'm taking that lavender again, but this time I'm using a smaller, more defined brush. This is the Wayne Goss number 19 because I just want to define. I really didn't need to go in the corner there any darker because it was pretty dark already, but I'm using this smaller brush just to really define right around, right in my crease area because I really wanted that to be very defined, especially up against that burnished copper. I didn't really want these shades to like blend in together. I really wanted some definition between the lid shade and my crease shade. And then back in, I didn't really need to do this, but I'm kind of anal in this way, I guess. Making sure to blend that onto the lid shade. And of course, you knew NYX Blaming on Midnight was going to make an appearance, right? And I'm just using this to blend out the edges of that crease shade. I really needed this on the other eye because that line was very harsh on the other eye where I have a much more pronounced brow bone. And now I'm just taking lavender and using a really small flat definer brush from Sonia G to place that on the lower lash line, trying to keep it out of my under eye wrinkles there. And now I'm taking the shade Sienna and the same brush, and I'm just going to use that on the first quarter of that lid, lower lash line, and I'm going to blend it into lavender. I would go back in with a fluffier brush and just kind of blend out the bottom of the lash line because I didn't want this shadow on the lower lash line to be so defined. I wanted to smoke it out just a little bit. But once again, you know, when I do that, some of that shadow goes into my under eye wrinkles, which is not cute. And now I'm taking burnished copper, again dry, and I'm putting that in my inner corner to serve as the highlight. I really wish I hadn't done this. I really wish I had gone without a highlight on this look. I would have just brought the lower lash line colors right all the way there into the corner. But I did this and it was fine. I just would have preferred this look without it. And now I'm taking NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade French Fries, which is sort of this beigey gold. I wish I hadn't done this either. I wish I would have kept the waterline dark. And this is the completed look. I'm using the House of lashes from Juliette, which are absolutely beautiful. They're totally outrageous, but I love them. And of course, I put the left one on wrong. And the Inglot number 77 gel liner for the wing. That is the look. I love it. And it's really great because lately I've done eyeshadow looks that I really hate. I did a couple last week that I didn't even film. I like just deleted the footage because it was so ugly. I used 2 different palettes in the same day and it was just nothing. So it's really nice to come and be able to use a palette and enjoy using it and to create a look that I absolutely love. So love this palette. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing because I do eyeshadow tutorials, makeup hauls, swatches, and reviews here every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.